Okay, welcome back to my channel, everyone. Thank you very, very much for looking in. As promised, I'm going to start this video. This video is going to be about teaching online, which is something that's of great interest to a lot of people I know. And when I go on YouTube, sometimes I hear many people talking about if they move abroad and they're retiring or they're settling down abroad, maybe they can enhance their income by teaching online. And just as a positive start to the video, yes, it is absolutely possible. In most places you can go in the world, actually, you can, as long as you've got a good internet connection, which unfortunately lets some countries out, and we'll be mentioning this again later in the video, but you certainly need a good connection and you need to be reliable to be online when you say you're going to be online. So that's a prime requisite. Okay, I've brought some notes here so I don't forget everything. There's quite a bit I want to cover in this first video about teaching, and it's important that I cover all the points I have to mention. So why do I say it's possible for everybody? Well, you know, the world wants to learn English. English is the base language for many, many things. For people that want futures in business, etc., everything circulates around English. English is the language for business in the world, and it's also the language that's used in a lot of education centers around the world as well. For instance, I had a student from Thailand, actually. We went to do a PhD in Munich in Germany, and the PhD was to be done in English in Germany. So it just shows you the base requirement that people need to be able to speak English in all sorts of aspects. And in that perspective, you know, there's just for China, for instance, there's 10 million students graduating a year that want to go on and do different things, and all want to have a reasonable grasp of English. They say that the market for people, that there's billions of people wanting to learn to speak English. And if you look online, which I encourage you to do, and look on YouTube, etc., and look up English teaching or learning English or whatever terms you want to use, search, you will see that it's big, big, big business teaching English for all sorts of people online. You know, right from youngsters, their parents want them to learn English from early age, right through to people that have been to university and got their qualifications, but then need to improve their English for what they want to do in the future. And the variations of types of English that people want you to teach them is also a huge variation. And we're going to go into all this in the next 2 or 3 videos when I'm talking about teaching English, which is an interesting subject. So let me give you a little bit of my history in teaching. I retired here to Thailand, proper retirement, about 10 years ago, and right at the beginning of the pandemic, actually. And so the whole country, the whole world went into a kind of closed down situation. And I wondered what I was going to do with my available time that would keep my brain busy, etc. I had several ideas, and one of them was to start a YouTube channel and try and create a lot of videos for YouTube. And one of the added bonuses was, if that was successful, then obviously I'd get a little bit of income from it. And wow, you know, the same as most people, every little bit helps. And I did start my YouTube channel, and it was the same one that we're looking at now, actually. And that's been going for quite a few years. And although I've got over 1,000 subscribers now, I haven't followed it as I should have done and made as many videos, because getting various content is difficult and takes a lot of work. And we'll be covering that in videos to come when we talk about making YouTube videos and joining YouTube and having your own channel. But let's get back to talking about teaching. So from my case, I decided that I wanted to do a YouTube channel. And then when we got closed down with the pandemic and I couldn't go, you couldn't move around easily, then I thought, oh my God, what am I going to do now then? And then I thought, well, let me have a serious look at this teaching aspect, this teaching English. Not teaching, because I'm not a teacher, but I can teach English. And before I go any further into this video, I would also like to say to those teachers that work in schools, that have gone to university, that have learned the teaching trade in university, that go into the classrooms of today or any time, and they teach class loads of people. They have my utmost respect, and they are the true professionals of the trade, and every credit is due to them. However, there is a vast market for amateur teachers to get involved in teaching English. The first thing I'd say to you is you have to decide what sort of English you want to teach. And I'd also make it a bit more, this is quite a complex subject actually, because let's start with what qualifications we need. And that was the first thing I thought of. What do I need to be able to teach English online? And I was shocked to find that I didn't need any qualifications. I didn't even need to speak English perfectly. And you will see if you go down this journey of teaching English, you will see many people come from Africa, Nigeria, for instance, other countries like the Philippines or whatever, people that speak English in a natural way. They're online and they're teaching. Teaching is the key, English, because a lot of them aren't teaching. They're just conversing, they're talking to people. And that's what a lot of students want. They want conversation practice. And you can actually get employed to just sit and talk to people. If that's what if that's enough for you, then there's no reason why you can't get started quite quickly. And we'll get to how you do that. But in my case, when I looked at that and I'd done a study on the internet, I noted that, as I said, there's a lot of various people doing this conversation online, and they're doing well actually, because, for instance, South Africans, they can relate to South Africa, and even when they're speaking, people can understand them easily. And the other key speaking countries, India, there's India teachers as well. They have a place because they have their own country's people to talk to. The big negative is that there's not a lot of remuneration for conversational teachers. And you see when you look at the various platforms, something else we're going to come on to in due course, when they look at the various platforms online, you will see that, although you can get positions as conversational teachers, the money is not so good. And it really depends on how far you want to go, because the market is vast. And we come back to qualifications again, because you can be conversational and you don't need any qualifications. However, if you want to be classified as a professional, then you need some sort of certification that you can actually teach. And online you will see many institutions offering some sort of certification where you can pay for courses to get a certificate to say that you are qualified to teach English. There's two main certificates actually. There's one, the CELTA certificate. Now the CELTA certificate is organized by Cambridge universities, and it is quite an involved and well-constructed course that they give, and at the end of it you get a CELTA certificate, which is quite a class certificate. It's also quite expensive to do this course and to get the certification. So the CELTA is probably the prime certificate, I would say. The other certificate you can get is the TEFL certificate, TEFL, TEFL. It stands for Teaching English as a Foreign Language. Now there are many institutions, as I said, online, offer you this certificate. And I done mine with a online university, and it cost me £34 to do the course, to do the exam, and to get the certificate. £34. Many people are offering this certificate online, and it ranges from £34 up to some institutions are charging you £250 for the same certificate. When I done it, my true Scottish nature came in. I had to think about it for a while, and I thought, okay, I will try this £34 institute here, and I will put the name of the course I took in the comments below the video. So I enrolled for the certificate, and I paid the money, and you can start the course immediately. It's all online, and managed to start the course immediately. Well, I have to say that within 48 hours, I'd registered, I'd done the course, I'd passed the test, and I'd got the certificate. I was lucky because I kind of identified the way this was going to run, and it was I set myself up before I registered. I knew what I wanted to do and how I was going to do this course, even though I hadn't seen the course. I knew how I had to approach it myself, and then I knew how to prepare for the test, and then take the test at the end of it and get the certificate. It would not be easy at all if I hadn't done it the way I did do it. And I will come to that probably in my next video. We will talk about how you actually get past these tests and get your certificate. But I got my certificate, and then I had a whole lot of options opened up to me on who I could go and teach with. And I looked at, if you look online and you put teaching online English, you will see lots and lots of opportunities and various platforms online that you can apply to join, and you do a small test or show them your certificates, etc., and you can join them. Just of interest, when I done this, after I'd got the certificate, I was looking online, and I noticed there was quite a well-paid online platform that was Russian actually, and I thought, okay, let me have a go at applying for this teaching Russians to speak English. And I made the application. Now these people, they accepted my application, and they said, okay, but you need to pass a test, okay? And then I thought, I think if it's just a basic English test, then no problem at all. But they came back with the test, and it wasn't, what are you doing here? It really wasn't what I expected. And I'll be truthful with you, I failed the test. But there was other avenues that I was applying for. Excuse me while I put this bird down. Go on, down. Come on, down, come on. Yeah, she likes to get involved when I'm making videos. Yeah, so I'd failed the test, and actually, as it transpired, that turned out to probably be quite a good thing, because it would not have been what I wanted to do, and I don't think I'd have enjoyed working with their organization anyway. And this is all sorts of things we got to talk about in the future. So then I looked at, as I said, I'd applied for other online platforms, and one came back very, very quickly. I had to make a short video, me talking, I can't remember, 2 or 3 minutes or something like that. And I had to send that in, and if they were happy with the video, then they would give me a position teaching English. And I did that, and I got a position with them. And I stayed with them, which was very, very good. And it's probably a platform that I will recommend to you in due course. But after some time with them, and for very, very good reasons, I swapped to another platform that I think is probably one of the best online for working in the way I wanted to work. And I swapped with that. And that will also be in the subject of the next teaching video that I talk about. I think it's also important that I mention that even going back the few years to my younger days when I was still at school, I was actually quite good at English. English was one of the subjects that I got a good grading in when I finished school, and I was fairly good. However, I'm talking now I'm talking 60 years ago. So when I took up teaching, when I took this up 50 years ago, it would have been 50 years since I'd done English at school. And there was a lot had changed, and a lot of things I had forgotten. So doing the course that I'd done to get my certificate actually helped me an awful lot, because it refreshed my brain. And I would say at the end, even at 48 hours, I was probably back up to speed by about 75% in my English ability to be able to teach it. And it's surprising, because although maybe in a lot of instances you don't need to know all the English grammar aspects, etc., it's better if you're correcting somebody for speaking wrong, even in conversational English. It's good if you can say to them, well, look, that you're using the wrong tense here. We should have used this tense or whatever. Right, get down, down. So, if you're really, really interested in taking up English, teaching English online, I suggest you start doing research on it now. Research the various things, research the type of teaching you would want to do. And in my next video, we will go into how I got the certificate, how I got on with the first platform that I worked with, and how I moved on to the second platform I worked with. And then I'll talk about how I managed to move into specialization, where I really started making some very, very good money. And I'll also tell you, when you're considering this, you also have to think about what equipment you're going to use. You do need to be able to be a good planner. You need to be able to keep your good records on all your students, etc., all the personal details. For instance, you're talking to somebody and they start talking about the dog named Benny, or the daughter named Susie, or the son named Mike. You need to be making all these notes of all these things and keeping them on record. So the next time you speak to the student, you can be more, not intimate, but you can be closer to them by being able to say, well, how's Benny, or how's Mike, or how's Susie, or did you get that job interview you were going for? Or you said you were going to go shopping for so-and-so. Write down everything that you find out about it. Get down, down. You need to write down everything you find out about them and use them when you meet your students. Equipment-wise, yes, some online platforms, they're happy for you and even recommend that you just use your telephone. Well, that might be kind of okay for their type of teaching, but it's not okay for everything. Most teaching, if you're going to go into it in a proper, efficient, professional way, you're going to need decent equipment. You're going to need, for instance, I have my PC in my office, and I've got 2 screens on my PC, so I could work between the screens, etc. I got a good camera in there, and I got. You've probably seen it in my previous videos also. And where's she gone? She doesn't. She wants to be up here. I will have to remember to put her back in her cage for future videos. Although she's a very kind bird. Go on. She can be a nuisance if I'm trying to make a video. And I've moved out here because I think I can't sit in my office and make the videos, but it's a bit more comfortable sitting out here in the fresh air and actually talking with the scenery and everything around about. So, as I say, do some research, get your research done. You know, talking, for instance, one of the very first things I decided is that I did not want to teach children, young children. You know, maintaining their interest and being able to communicate with them and keep their interest and keep them learning from you takes a lot of skill. I believe that women are much more proficient at it than we are. It becomes, I think it's more natural for them. And there's certainly an aspect that I think that going to university and learning how to teach properly is one of the key areas. But I know a lot of people are successful at doing it online that have no teaching qualifications. It's just that for me to be standing in front of a camera with fluffy toys and trying to get puppets talking to each other, etc., that's not my type of teaching. You know, I like to be teaching more adult type people and helping them develop their English or achieve their goals, which is a lot of aspects that we're going to come on to. Okay, I'm keeping these in a series of videos because I want to give you so much information. I don't want to give it all in one long video because you just get bored and not take it in. Think about what you want to do, have a look online, do some research, and then my next video, as I say, will go into much more in-depth aspects that will help you progress down that road if that's the road you want to go down. So, thanks for watching. Bye for now.